Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to another scene of Hong Kong House of Cards. Today is Wednesday, October the 28th, and in this scene we find the newly appointed Seat of Justice, Rodger has put feelers out to seek the aid of some capable individuals to help him with a very delicate matter. So he has arranged to meet at a discreet location so as to talk strategy before seeking the interview with the House of Staves. And Rodger is just going to wait quietly, and he looks a little excitedly nervous, but very intrigued at the adventure element of this. As to illustrate his own will, that's all. But that's an out of character. Anyway, guys, have at her.
Where are we at?
Just some quiet, private spot where we can
Okay.
have a strategy meeting, and he can ask for volunteers.
Well, I guess little Michael will show up first. Partly for a note wondering what exactly is going on, because not all of the characters ran by an ST are omniscient. And
he's the almighty 13-year-old.
Yeah, that's not one of his powers, knowing all and everything. So he'll show up and greet Mr. Crispin and give a polite nod to him as they were both sitting members on the council. Well, the Greater Arcana part of the council.
Very nice to see you, Mr. Springfield.
And you as well. Congratulations on your appointment.
Same to you. We have a very severe matter to attend to as a first case, you might say.
Oh.
Yes. I thought perhaps we might wait for others to arrive before I get into it in earnest. But I'm hoping to handle this as politely and quietly as possible, though there may be implications of undermining the council as a charge. There's someone who, at first glance, seems to be trying to stack the deck in their own favor.
As if on cue, an enemy will walk in. She will have on a nice pencil skirt and a button-up white shirt and a business jacket with nice tall heels, and she'll walk over.
Good evening.
Mr. Crispin, Mr. Springfield, it's good to see both of you.
Same to you, miss. Thank you for coming.
guess it would be our turn, Obi.
Yeah, sure.
After a few minutes after Miss Becker shows up, the two changelings show up on cue. Probably feeling the pulls of power to this place, saying SOS, SOS kind of deal. They show up. Have Riker and Benjamin Black of House Ilunid. Only other person that would know this out of character is Obi, but because Ben sees this, but it seems like he's a little bit more lively. There's a lot of chimera, but the chimerically inclined. There's a lot of chimera around him.
Yikes.
Hello there, Riker. Hello, Mr. Black.
Mr. Crispin?
Hey, Rodger.
And Michael will nod to Riker and then turn to Mr. Black. And I don't believe we've met before. My name's Michael Springfield. I said is the magician for the Tarot Council.
No, we haven't had the pleasure. Benjamin will extend his hand. It's a pleasure
Michael
to meet you.
Likewise.
He shakes your hand firmly. He nods.
He is as James had clearly stated before, he is 13 years old. But don't.
Well,
He's
as
not that dull. Even though he acts like an adult.
Yeah. As a changeling, Benjamin's quite aware that looks can be deceiving, so
Yeah.
there's a lot that typically happens below the surface, so he's not going to make any judgments quite yet. But he is interested. He kind of like...
Go ahead and, as an ST out of there, curious thing, go ahead and give me a perception kenning roll.
Okay.
Oops.
Just don't tell me.
Yeah, sure, betcha.
I don't know why I rolled, but there's mine.
Holy successes, Batman.
Holy successes indeed.
Yeah.
Holy successes, Batman. Yeah.
That's a lot of successes there.
It's really weird about this one. You can definitely see a lot of magic flowing around him. He's a 3 mages decently. I mean, he's your beginner base. There's some other things that float around him that make him interesting. First of all, the matter of there's some faint hints that would. Do you have any like Guru or Shifter lore on the character?
No, just change.
Riker does.
There are some faint hints that might lead you to believe he has some capabilities in that department, but you're not sure. And there's also some, while it doesn't seem like it's from any of his magic, but it does seem like because of extraneous circumstances, some darker magic of sorts hangs over him.
Riker would
That has become
known
innate to
about
his
that.
being.
Yeah, Riker would have known about that since they've hung out more than once together.
Careful, let's not entice the Ilunid.
Lunans, how we love them.
Riker doesn't ask because it's not his reason to ask, but he is curious about it.
Sorry, he's here. What? Sorry.
It's not his thing to ask. Ask because he knows it's not his business, but he's still like curious about it because he can still see like the black scar in his chimerical shadow.
He's worm-tainted.
He hasn't asked. That's what.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, please allow me to decide or to set forth some initial proprieties just to ensure that things are fair and in the open. S- Such is my way. If you would not mind, um, honored sir, and he gives a very polite bow to Michael. Um, would you please act as the council's witness to this initial interview?
Of course.
Thank you very much. Honored to the honored other gentlemen, I will make my request plain as soon as I'm able. I would, however, like to set the groundwork of this interview as it concerns a very grave accusation.
Is this still dealing with the Adam issue?
I'm sorry?
Is this still dealing with the Adam issue?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Fair enough. How
Um,
would you like? How are we to help?
I would first like to initiate this interview entirely above the board, you understand.
Understandable.
And he will turn to I'm sorry, could we please switch Sean's overlay for yours just so I can
Yeah.
see her name again? I'm sorry. I hate
Nope, wrong one. Wrong one. Alright, there we go.
Thank you. With all due respect to you, Miss Bit. Sorry. With all due respect to you, Miss. And he offers her a very. I wish to formally announce to the honorable speaker for the House of States that a very significant charge has been brought to my attention.
I'm sorry, I can't hear whatever's going on in somebody's background.
I'm sorry, James. Is it possible?
Okay, thank
Okay.
goodness. I'm
I'm sorry.
sorry, could you repeat that?
Certainly. After giving you a very polite bow, Rodger will explain politely, with all due respect, to the honorable speaker of the House of States, a very significant charge has been brought forward regarding certain actions within the House of States, and one Sir Adam of the House of Cups.
Yes, I am aware of these actions. I was helping our current son with his investigation.
If I might ask for posterity, what are these accusations?
if you would help me a bit, Sean, would be more than happy to give that, but my out of character self having an issue with my memory.
Basically, to sum it up so all the people in here know, the charges being levied are that the prince of the city for the Camarilla court ordered Dexter Shice, is it the last name? Dexter, the Tremere,
Silver.
to ghoul Adam. She did not, and she instead blood bonded him. And it was against his will with the intent and express purpose of having someone that they could control within the House of Cups. To the best of his knowledge, this is what he's been told. Gust also came forward with information that Adrena had been told when Adam was planning on escaping away with Dextra and Adrena, that not her intent to use, but her willingness, not that she had already done it, but she has the ability of making people not speak out against her. He is not aware of the nature of this power or how it's done, but he is worried that witnesses to this incident would be treated or used in such a manner, and that he would not be releasing the witnesses directly for them for questioning until the events of the court, but he would be willing to send transcripts, and that he did not, as he had requested to be the prosecuting attorney on this, that he would not be able to fulfill the warrant as asked of him, because he would feel that these powers would be attempted to be used on him.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
is it explained what the blood bond is to those who might not have
Yes.
control? Okay.
I didn't know the full extent of this power.
Shit got real quick.
She is claiming ignorance, that she committed this blood bond accidentally, but Gust had been assured by multiple members of the House of Staves that this cannot be done by accident, that it has to be willful and malicious to be done.
As you can see, my lady, these are very severe charges, and I felt it only appropriate to ascertain both your house's side of the story, as well as to figure out an agreeable way to investigate the full extent of the truth of this matter, as if this were to come about as written here. It would be a direct attempt at sabotage, I feel, of the council and how it's meant to work.
Oh, I agree full-heartedly. We must get to the bottom of this matter.
Could you please, for the sake of the interview, inform me as to whether it is true that in order to blood bond an individual or to make them a ghoul does in fact I'm sorry, just a moment. That
It does have to be willful. You cannot accidentally blood bond somebody, as I am sure everyone here is aware. Vampires are dead. Our blood does not flow. In order to make it flow, we have to concentrate on that and force it out of our bodies.
I see. So the plausible defense of an individual saying that they did not know or did not intend to do such a thing would in fact be false.
It would be false, yes.
And he will affirm that young Master Springfield has gotten this on the record.
Yes.
In addition, with respect to your society, if I might present a plausible scenario, if the prince, for the purposes, let us say,
Hey, Marcus, your mic slipped.
oh, I'm sorry. How's this?
You're good.
Better.
Okay. Let us say, for the sake of discussion,
I will
The-
note that on the. Oh, sorry. I will note that on the mention of him being called a young master, he'll kind of take that flustered look and be like, "I'm only an adept of our society, sir."
Oh,
though you and I are both equal members as far as our place on the council, so I only wish to give you the appropriate respect that is due.
I appreciate it.
For the sake of debate, let us say that if we were to continue with the tarot card aspect, the prince would, I feel, represent the king of the suit, correct?
This is directed to you. If he was to understand it, that that in your society that the House of Staves that the prince resides as like king of the city as
Yes, the prince is the person who is in charge of what we call the domain. He is the head of our society in this area, and his or hers will and edicts are to be followed.
Is there an individual in your society that can counsel the king of the House of Staves against actions that would be hostile?
Yes, there are many people who can, but it's up to that prince to determine whether or not that advice would be followed.
I see. With regards to the power that was mentioned by the honored holder of the seat of the sun, as per the investigation record, is there such a power within your society that would prevent a witness from giving a lawful testimony?
Go ahead and roll your kindred lore and then roll your true lore.
I'm sorry?
I'm just letting her know. Actually, don't roll your kindred lore. You know dominate and presence exist because you have them. But go ahead and roll your Tremere lore on something else. It'd be intelligence plus Tremere lore.
gosh, she has
I will
that.
say diff 8 because you're an outsider.
Thanks, Sean.
Sorry, Botch.
I know that I have heard of some things that can I know that if you get powers of dominate up high enough, you can bend any person to your will with enough time with them.
I see.
It would not be hard to get a person alone and make them unable to speak out against you.
I see.
Benjamin looks noticeably uncomfortable about these powers of these leeches. He's like, what the fuck?
It sounds like something equated to sovereign, but on a different level.
I wish.
And
Yeah, wouldn't really like that power in the hands of. Oh, sorry. No offense.
yeah,
Oh, none taken. They can be useful, protecting oneself and in business, but in a society like ours and our council, it would be very negligent to use them.
May I ask, in your own words, how would you describe the current sitting prince?
On the record or off?
Michael at this point has been jotting down in a little notebook, and when she says on the record or off the record, he pauses and waits for them to decide.
Rodger's going to think about this for a moment, and he's going to close his eyes, and at this point I'm going to roll a perception empathy to see, to try and get a sense of what Miss Anemone's objective may be, and if there might be a way to legally use that to the society's advantage. Because if there's a way that we can solve this peaceably without too much aggression, it would probably work better for the society as a whole. So when she says that, Rodger's going to try and look into her eyes and try and get her measure on things.
That's fine. She'll look directly at him. I won't roll. There won't be any attempt to
Obfuscate
what she's trying to do.
3 successes.
She is very worried. What she says now could mean the difference between her unlife and her final death. One does not usually speak out against one's prince publicly or on any sort of record. Why did you do that?
If you agree,
Second roll.
I'm sorry?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Something
Marcus.
dropped.
Oh, okay. If you would permit me, dear lady, to attempt to assuage your concern. If you are willing to speak on the record, because as we all know, this is a very grave issue indeed, and if handled inappropriately, it could very well damage the entire Tarot society, because without trust, it cannot stand. Therefore, if you are willing to aid us in preserving this, I will place you under the protection of the seat of justice. I'm sorry.
Because this is such a dire and important matter, I will set aside my personal apprehensions.
Michael will pick up his pen again.
Let me speak frankly. Mildred is dangerous. She is cunning and she is calculating, but more than that, she is inept at her job, at her duties, and about what is best to be done in this domain. If you allow it, she will get everybody here killed. She has shown a distinct lack of regard and respect for those she deems beneath her, which would be everybody, and sees those of us who are not in her favor as pawns to be used to get what she wants.
Rodger is going to sit quietly and just continue to listen. Also, I'm going to do another perception empathy with the intent of trying to ensure that even if not all, but the greater majority of what has been said now is in fact accurate and truthful, and not just something to be used for the purposes of trying to move an enemy out of the way. Being a judge, he has to be very clear about these things.
Of course, and again, there won't be any contested roles. She'll look directly at you.
Okay. Because of the importance of this, I am spending a willpower. Okay, so that's
5,
4,
6.
5, 6 with the willpower.
Every single word that she said, she believes is true. She is drawing off her experiences with Mildred and the way she has interacted within the council and within their court.
I see.
Well, that's disconcerting.
And after a few moments, he'll nod.
I will not lie to you. Before coming here, I was a prince myself. I understand the pressures this job brings, and I understand that sometimes one must do what one does not like in order to ensure that people under our protection are safe. However, Mildred's actions have not spoken to someone looking for the best interests of her people, only someone looking for the best interest of themselves. She has shown a disregard for the people under her care, and a disregard for the people that she is supposed to be working with.
Are there others within the House of Staves that you believe would feel the same way you do?
Again, we do not usually speak out publicly, but there has been a lot of discontent with Mildred. And a lot of people don't want to see her as our prince. There's simply, at this time, we don't have the power necessary to kick her out of the position.
In what way do you mean? If a leader does not hold the confidence of their people, one would imagine that a new leader would be appropriate.
Yes, a new leader would be. However, our society is very political, and we have a system in place to ensure that the prince is not voted out without due consideration. To successfully oust a prince from their domain, the Primogen Council, who is their representative for each of our clans, has to vote. And the vote has to be 4 or more against the prince. And any vote for the prince takes away from the votes against.
To simplify it for the other players, you have to have a retarded supermajority to get rid of a prince.
Oh yeah.
Oh, lovely.
I get it.
And that's if you want to go the peaceful route, as opposed to just stabbing the prince or staking him and throwing him in a basement.
Yeah. The Rector will actually go, why not go, is there an easier route to getting her out?
We could kill her.
Such an action without known provocation would weaken any future position of the Tarot Society.
Would the Tarot Society not consider this an act of provocation?
It certainly is. However, these things must still be proven.
Yes, and there's also the matter that, regardless of this is proven or not, to further instigate against another house would only cause more dissolution within our society.
However,
this is a fragile alliance, and if it falters, our enemies will pounce upon it. They've already proven as much.
However, something certainly must be done. Yeah, we must first ascertain, which I guess would lead me to my next question. Do you believe it's within Prince Mildred's power to do this thing that has been herein described?
I do.
Do you believe, based on what you have shared thus far, that she would do such a thing?
Yes, and I have no trouble believing she would do it again.
I see. I believe that with the preliminary interview as it stands, we may have enough here, I believe, to expedite a tribunal on the issue. If the Tarot Council were to put our effort into this investigation at the greatest amount of power we ourselves can muster, would there be a significant faction within the House of Staves to maintain the balance, as it were, within the Tarot Society?
I believe so.
What would you say, roughly, the percentage of her supporters to her um, excuse me, what would you say the current balance is within the Court of Staves, for or against?
I would say the majority of the House of Staves, once this becomes public knowledge, would be against Mildred.
I would propose something in that case. I must, of course, as is my office, I must inform the council of the findings of this preliminary interview. It would, I feel, reflect very goodly on your society once this has been undertaken to delay her or halt her from the inside so that we might be able to meet in the middle. And in this way, as I'm sure the honorable gentleman here present would agree, face can be saved on all sides, while a further investigation is undertaken by an entirely neutral party. This, my dear gentleman, sorry, I have to change that. While a further investigation, with whom I hope will uphold the level of trust that I have in them, and he turns to Black and to Riker, will aid us in finding the evidence we need to nip this prudently in the bud, as it were.
Looks at Ben. I can go and cloaked underneath an art of ours, but stealth is not going to bode well since they probably can see through it.
Are there others that you would recommend we bring in as investigators? As at this point, I would be willing to, solely within my power, you understand, so as not to step on anyone's toes, I would be willing to make you and your chosen allies sorry guys, I can't get the word out right now.
It's alright.
An agent of the council in this case.
My former duties primarily involved me being a more physical procurer of secrets. He says that in a way to imply a torturer. There are more genteel methods of questioning, however. That's less reliable, maybe more.
I know people have heard of an art that could probably be beneficial, but I just don't know. I don't know who possesses it at the moment.
Hmm.
I don't think we need art in this case. I think we just need help in determining the truth. Is that correct?
And
Yes.
and to prevent the truth from being silenced.
So I'm willing to offer my services to this end.
I will offer my services stealth to try and see if I can get inside and probably see if I can hear something that could have that in if Miss Becker allows it. Uh, if people don't know if they're being listened to by an outside party, they would be more candid and forthright with their with information.
I can see no reason to disallow it. However, I will make you aware that if we were to speak with her, it would probably either be at our Elysium or in her chantry.
Hmm.
Elysium, we cannot, for lack of a better word, bug. It would be a violation of our policies within such a building.
I wonder, though, as this case does revolve around the safety and security of the entire Terror Society. I have a thought, gentlemen. I am going to write you a formal letter of deputization with this. I would like you to coordinate our efforts with the Seat of the Sun. Perhaps if you were to put your minds together, we could ascertain the truth of this.
I have seen no problem with this.
And as the acting witness of the council, Mr. Springfield, may I have your consent to act on this?
And of course, it's within your responsibilities. I will say, on the note of the security of the witnesses that you brought up, if it is, how does this dominate that you speak of work?
Dominate is... how best to explain this? Depending on your mastery of it, could be as simple as a one-word command that
I'm not interested, and I'm sorry if I interrupt you, in the application of it. I'm interested in the mechanics of it, supernaturally. How does it work? How does it...
It affects one's mind.
Kind of a bit of a smile will go on Earth's face. If it becomes a problem that we feel that they would use this power to try and adversely affect the mind of witnesses or people wishing to prosecute this, I have a decent ability with weapons here and would be able to stop such attempts. And he'll pause here for a moment for a quick saying, 3. 1, 2 successes, spending a willpower to go into ritual. Spending a will, that's just a fail, so I don't need to worry about that just yet. 2 successes. That's just a fail, so we can keep going. We'll just call it one more time. That's good enough. So I don't have to take success to add to myself. There was 1 for 3, so 1 for 6. I'll put 2 towards duration, so it's for the scene, and 4 successes towards the effect. As an example, go ahead and
Okay.
you would roll your intimidation plus manipulation.
4,
This will suck, probably, because you'll probably get over it.
6, and I would assume persuasive is an active spec.
Depends on how you're doing the dominate. If you're doing it as a command, no. But if you're doing it as, I think you should do this.
Then we'll just go with a simple one-word command. I'll use dominate 1.
Okay, that's kind of what I was going to get at. Difficulty will be 7. Ah, shit. Just what I figured would happen.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah, she went over the top of my successes, son of a bitch. Yeah,
What's
Well,
the
something
command?
simple like, and he will run. God damn it. God damn it, Julia. Fuck me. Thanks for destroying that. He'll come back. Well, that sucked.
Can my honored colleague be brought out of this?
as soon as he,
It was only 2 successes. It doesn't last very long. He will leave her presence and then return.
yeah, as soon as he
Oh,
finishes the command, he can come back.
okay.
That sucked. I thought 4 successes was going to be good enough, especially at willpower 7, but no, the dice chain said, fuck you, Sean.
Okay.
No,
I
just
wonder
look like an
if
idiot.
perhaps a joint effort to the same cause might be a better way to go.
I should have warned you that I am well versed in that.
Yeah, he's used to junior
Yeah.
varsity demontation, where it's, dominate, where it's just like, and he goes,
We made one. Looking at
it's the first time a Ventru is like pulled back out and then slap.
You facing an expert, boy.
And I did admirably well. I cut her down from, what, 6 successes down to 2? So instead of it being a long-term effect for the entirety of the day,
God,
Just keep running. Keep going.
yeah, I have to run from her. Yeah.
though I do think we may have something here. Though, as a plausible plan B, if we could.
No one else knows, but you would know. Damn, that should have sent him for the hills. And
Mhm. So she'll kind of look at him. Maybe with a little more time. That was
maybe.
interesting.
Well, since they are not aware of our intentions, as I've found through my studies, the more time the better. If I have more than mere minutes but have hours and days to conduct the ritual necessary, then it could very easily be done to a much greater effect. The more time spent on our magics, and he'll point between him and Mr. Crispin, the more powerful they can become.
Yes. The mere minutes was interesting enough. You should still be running.
You both are. You both are, or rather, you all are excellent examples of your societies. Before we adjourn this interview formally, does anyone else have any addendums or ideas they would like to put forward?
If you're worried about them leaving, the House of States does have the ability to a certain extent, make one come back.
Oh,
I am more concerned for the the witness's safety and yours, as I do not wish to diminish the fact that you have performed admirably, even under quite a substantial probable risk.
Sorry.
I would suggest that perhaps arrangements be made for the creation of safe houses.
I would say, first and foremost, that secrecy would be probably best to do this. We should not reveal who are witnesses to this or whatever may you until the time comes, so that way they can't act against them. We should be quick but not too hasty. We should make sure to get this trial done before they have a chance to react once we have all the evidence to prosecute it. And if there's an issue for safe houses, I can speak with Arthur, and I know for a fact both mine and his sanctum would be more than capable of fulfilling such duties, as they are our own homes, but at the same time, it's very hard to find them unless you've actually been there. Because of the magics hung on them, they are specifically made in such a way that they elude by tricking the person into believing they do not exist. You would know it, Crispin would know it as, hey, you get Sanctum high enough and it practically has its own arcane.
If need be, with the permission of all here present, I will make a plausible preparation with my tradition so as to prepare a place of safety for you at the temple if need be. As I say, because of your honesty and your forthrightness, you are under the seat of justice's protection, and I will do my utmost to see that that is put in place.
Thank you.
I thank you for your help, honorable Speaker of the House of Staves, and all of you honorable gentlemen here present. If you could please take this, and he'll offer each of you a document that allows you to act in concert with the seat of the sun as investigators under his authority.
Take one.
Henry will take one.
Cool. Definitely taking one of those.
It does actually specifically say, just in case, that, even though you are under his authority, you are still accountable to the council, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They don't read fine print, so.
So, anything else before we adjourn, Honorable Sirs and Milady?
I don't believe so.
I think that does it.
Question, Mr. Becker. when do you want to start making arrangements for your bank's openings after party, or is I don't believe your bank's opening hasn't started yet.
Of course, you ask me while I'm eating M&M's.
Oh, as a
Sorry.
plot point, just to hint at something, Julia, Miss Becker receives a text.
So she'll look to Angie and go, just one moment, that's my work phone.
The text would say that there is business issues that need to be discussed, dealing with certain clan holdings.
Can you guys give me a perception alertness? Or
Oh, perception, empathy.
Mhm.
2.
Depending
One.
on the
We'll call it standard.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
3 successes.
all right. If at all possible, Becker's face just went white, and she is. The expression on her face is pissed, worried, and a little bit afraid.
Mhm.
Oh.
Is there something that we could assist you?
Bad text?
Business matters. If it is all right with you, Riker, I'd like to book your club for the 7th of November.
That'll work for me. What time are you guys going to be coming by?
I would assume it'd start around
I'm assuming nightfall.
7:30 then,
Alright.
and end about midnight. Would probably be
Okay.
good.
He's got a book out and jots it down. Sam Hayden, 2 days away. You can't be too careful. He closes it. Pleasure for doing business with you, Miss Becker.
And I will get the appropriate deposits and payments to you.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll be able to do more business in the future.
Wonderful. If you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I have matters that I have to deal with.
Is it perhaps something that one of us could aid you in some fashion?
I don't know yet.
Very good. You do have a way to contact me if need be, yes?
Yes. And you all have my numbers?
Yes, you also have mine.
Of course.
Ben, I don't think has your number.
Can get it from you, Riker, if that's okay, Miss
No.
Becker.
Alright, though. That's
acceptable.
fine.
And she'll stand up and pull her phone back out and offer them a nod and start typing away at her phone. And it looks like she's going to make a phone call, and then she'll hurry off.
Excuse me, Mr. Spencer, before we adjourn. Might I have a word with you in private regarding the council's position after our esteemed esteemed friends depart, there's something that has just entered my mind that I would like to bounce off the wall as it were.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was distracted there for a moment. What was the question?
Oh, after we adjourn, could I please have a very brief word with you in private, um, regarding something specifically involving the council, on this issue. I simply wish to have a means of, shall we say, bouncing something off the wall.
Sure.
Thank you. Honored sirs, I thank you. I thank you both. I thank you all for coming, and I look forward to seeing the collective fruits of your investigation. I'm confident that the Tao will prevail. And he offers everyone a formal bow.
Rack will bow back.
Michael is.
Benji kind of nods his head. He doesn't bow per se, but he's close.
He's an untraditional knight.
That's fine. He smiles at all of you.
Rack will take out his phone and text Ben Anemone's numbers.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. I guess we have some work to do. More than likely, trying to make a treasure that can counteract mental dominance.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a more simple way.
Well, I'm just also thinking of something for extra protection if the simple way gets overpowered.
True.
Considering how well she just made him walk out the room, Michael walk out the room, and he's usually good about blockading his mind.
Well, the medal from the Liberty Statue of Liberty was said to have some unique properties. Perhaps we should investigate that.
That would be interesting. I always wanted to investigate over there, considering how many times that thing's been struck by lightning.
Well, we'll definitely have to look into that then.
Say again?
Oh, we'll definitely have to take a look into that.
Yeah. And I think this would be a good stopping point, if y'all agree.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there was one other thing just between.
Okay.
After you go, though, Rodger will lean forward to Michael and say, Honored sir, I do feel that we should take certain precautions.
Mm-hmm.
A copy of this interview should be given, I think, to the Emperor, so that if anything does happen, to either Miss Baker or any of the aforementioned individuals who are assisting us, something can be done.
Of course. I'll see to that that be handled post haste.
Thank you very much for coming, and I very much appreciate your help.
Of course.
If there's anything else that I can do, please don't hesitate to call me.
I'll make sure to do so.
Thank you, sir. And with that, Rodger's going to excuse himself, and I'll hit the stop button. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a very exciting episode, and I'm sure I speak for all of my Hong Kong friends that we look forward to RPing for you again. Please have a good night.